So welcome everyone to today's class on artificial intelligence. It's great to see so many of you here. I see some familiar faces, which is always a good sight. And we are excited as we enter the holiday season. Mittler Senior Tech is headed into our what we like to call sixth season or sixth year, and we continue to provide programming through these classes. And we have some new classes, which I'll talk about towards the end. And it's great to see so many of you guys here. We are always looking for sponsors. It's a great way. One thing I love about Mittler Senior Tech is we're able to offer classes to everyone, no matter whatever their financial situation is, because of our great sponsors and people who have been with us for a while. So to those who attend many of our classes, and sponsoring is a great thing. It helps us out. And to those who have sponsored many of our different classes, we thank you. And it's great to see you. So we like to start off a lot of our classes with our mission. It is the responsibility of the younger generation to educate seniors about technology. The goal of Mittler Senior Technology is to cure the issue of social isolation within our senior communities and to help seniors feel connected with our new world of technology. Our personalized classes strive to educate seniors on how to communicate with friends and family in the manner in which the world is accustomed to today, and how to use technological tools to enhance and simplify their daily lives, changing the world one senior at a time. So these are some great stats. Like I said earlier, as we move into our sixth season now, or sixth year, we have over 3,500 seniors educated, over 10 different countries, and we're approaching almost 500 classes taught, which is a huge accomplishment. And we couldn't have done that thanks to you guys. So talking a little bit about these classes today, we have sporadic classes on Sundays, just like the one today, on various different topics. But our flagship courses can be found, and these can be found on our website. They're recorded classes by Jordan Mittler, and they offer kind of the foundational skills needed to really understand how to use technology and devices. So I encourage you, if you're new here and you like this class and you find what we're doing really interesting, explore our website and explore these classes. They're great. They come with notes, and there's even a quiz if you want to quiz yourself at the end. So I encourage you to go over to our website and check that out. Now, if you have any questions, and maybe they don't get answered during this call, or about Mittler Senior Tech, maybe it's a little bit off topic, you can always email us info@mittlerseniortech.com, and we'll get back to you promptly. So that's just a great way to reach us. Okay, so let's get into what we're going to be talking about today: artificial intelligence. So I'm no expert in artificial intelligence, but over the past couple of days, I'm doing research and I have a knowledgeable background in it, and I've used it a lot. So believe me, it is something that even to us as an organization can be a little bit confusing at times. But my goal here, think about this class as an introduction to artificial intelligence. So hopefully maybe you can grasp a little bit about what it's about and how it works. And so I know it can be a little bit overwhelming. At first, it was a little bit overwhelming for me, but hopefully this answers a bunch of your basic questions and we can move on from there. What I will ask is, through various points of this class, I'm going to be asking you guys, maybe asking you guys a question, or if you have a question, feel free to unmute. So yeah, have your mouses over your unmute button. So what is artificial intelligence? So by definition, if you put the two words together, artificial means something made or produced by people rather than occurring naturally. And intelligence is the capacity for learning, reasoning, understanding, and problem solving. So by definition, what artificial intelligence is on the artificial side, it's combining something that is made through these computers and these algorithms and these lines of code. So I think in this sense, it lacks a lot of our general understanding. This is I think what people think about genuine intelligence versus computer intelligence. For example, you can take humor. Uh, Sometimes artificial intelligence lacks humor, so it's just uh, instead of it being thought of naturally or original, it is created from a set of prompts and directions. And then intelligence is a little bit more of a simple term, and it's just the capacity for learning, which can be a little bit daunting when people think about artificial intelligence, just because uh, computers are so advanced nowadays. So now, when people generally talk about artificial intelligence, the definition given to it has been a machine's ability to perform the cognitive functions we usually associate with human minds. Intelligence demonstrated by machines. So we'll get into this later. We're going to do a demo on ChatGPT, which is a huge artificial intelligence site and something that people use as a tool. And it'll be a great example to understanding artificial intelligence. But I want to get into some examples in a little bit about kind of what artificial intelligence is so you can better understand it. Now, one huge component of artificial intelligence is machine learning. Essentially, what that means is I want to use these examples. So when you first, if you think back to first riding a bike, let's say you were a little kid and you go with your dad in the yard, and let's say you want to ride a bike. Now you get on the bike and you might pedal a couple times, but your handlebars might go sideways and you fall and you scrape your knee. The next time, your dad tells you, hey, keep your handlebars straight. So the next time you keep your handlebars straight and you pedal a little bit, but then you fall because you didn't continue pedaling. So and then the next time your dad tells you, okay, so keep your handlebars straight and keep pedaling. Uh, and now by this time, you're slowly starting to pick it up. Every time you have a new command that has been given to you and remembered. So you're learning through experience. Now, this is what machine learning is. So if I tell ChatGPT, hey, write me or tell me 5 places I should visit in Budapest. And it gives me 5 places. And then I say, hey, you forgot this key place, or you should mention this. Okay, so it'll give me, so it's going to learn from that, and it's going to, its next response, it'll include what I told it to. So it's learning through prompts and different responses. So that's why people people find artificial intelligence to be a little bit daunting at times because it's in its early stages, and people complain about the inaccuracy of it. So one thing I want to ask, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, is does anyone want to unmute and kind of share what they know about artificial intelligence or what they've heard about it? I know it's been in the news a lot. No, really, if you open up almost any newspaper, it's going to be in the headlines somewhere. So does anyone want to unmute and maybe say something that they've experienced with artificial intelligence? Any takers? All right. Well, from what we see and what I've heard and what we've heard is a lot of people say that it spreads a lot of inaccurate information. It's not completely 100% right. People are using it for plagiarism in schools, and it has the ability to take over the world. But really, the reason it spreads a lot of misinformation, is because we go back to machine learning, which is where it's learning through different prompts. So, for example, let's say Nathan, who's going to talk to you guys later. Let's say he asked it to create a list of uh, 5 things from Budapest that he should visit, 5 places that he should visit in Budapest, and he gives him 5 places, and he says, "Hey, you forgot this key place." So now, when I ask it, let's say I ask the same question a week later, it's going to take what Nathan took, what's said to ChatGPT, and and improve itself in its further responses. So as a machine, it's taking hundreds of questions and analyzing the responses to those questions and then improving itself a little bit. So that's why, like I said earlier, in these earlier stages um, of artificial intelligence, there can be some issues with misinformation and accuracy of responses. And a lot of people think that artificial intelligence is this completely brand new concept, but really it's been a while. It's been around for a while. I think a lot of you, if you have a smartphone or newer smartphone, one of the ways you get in is by putting your face in front of the screen, and a technology called facial recognition will unlock your phone and let you in. Now, really, artificial facial recognition is all artificial intelligence. What it does is it's backed through machine learning, where it's analyzing hundreds of different facial structures and comparing them to yours. So, like I said, it's been around for a while, so it's to the point now where it's almost perfect. Apple even says there's a 1 in a million chance that someone can unlock your phone if they don't have your face. So that's just an example of how artificial intelligence and how machine learning has improved over time. Many people check out their social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more, to get updated on what happened overnight. So not only is this artificial intelligence behind the scene, uh, but it's really working to personalize your data and your feed. So if I looked up birds, or I'm really interested in bumblebees, uh, artificial intelligence is going to recognize that. And maybe tomorrow when I open up my phone, my entire feed is going to be pumping out different news about bumblebees, and things like that. So that's why a lot of times people are confused on if they look something up on a website and then all of a sudden the next day it's remembering that and offering them products about that topic. That's artificial intelligence, and that's uh, collecting mass amounts of data and really um, with the computer's job. And so that's just an example of how artificial intelligence has been around. And also on the social media front, it's also filtering different things that you might not like. So it's really incredibly advanced. I'm not sure if any of you guys use Facebook Reels or TikTok or anything like that, but it analyzes how long you've been on a certain video or a certain screen. And yeah, another way, a lot of people have in-home Alexas or in-home Googles or Google products, and you can just ask Alexa questions. Maybe you've seen a commercial where people say, "Hey Alexa, what's the weather like today?" Or "Hey Alexa, write me a poem on this." That's artificial intelligence, and that's uh, another example of how artificial intelligence is already a part of our lives, and how people have already become comfortable with it, and they kind of let it into their lives, even if you haven't recognized it through those three examples. And in this instance, I think artificial intelligence kind of recognizes your voice and puts it into a database, and kind of spits out the answer. So although it might seem a little bit scary to people, and if you guys might have questions, it's something that has already been a part of our lives for a good amount of time. And I think the biggest or the greatest advancement so far for artificial intelligence has been fully autonomous cars, such as Tesla. Um, and in this instance, artificial intelligence is using a lot of data and machine learning. So, for example, if the black car in the middle knows that generally when a car is 50 feet in front of them and starts to slow down, that it should slow down, it's taking into account various different previous experiences and different numbers, and using that to navigate the car by itself. So I think um, this is a great example of where artificial intelligence is. Some people trust it, some people don't, but it has slowly, continuously gotten better, and maybe it's the future in a couple of years. Now, Another incredible feature of artificial intelligence, some people might find it scary, but it's really could be great, is this photo was made with artificial intelligence. And as you can see, um, if you look at these photos, there's something interesting. The Pope is first drinking beer, and second of all, the Pope has a ring on his finger. Now, the Pope doesn't wear rings, so these photos aren't real. So how did this come about? Well, there's a couple different ways. So when I asked ChatGPT to create a photo of the Pope, it analyzed thousands of different photos on the web and said most people drinking beer, and it had a ring on. So it just added um, a ring to the Pope. Now, one example of machine learning is if I asked it to create this photo and I said the Pope doesn't wear a ring, when Nathan asks a week later, it's not going to put a ring on the Pope. So that's an example of how it adapts slowly, step by step, prompt by prompt, to where it's continuously getting better. So I thought this was a good example of just image creating and the capacity of artificial intelligence, but also some faults it has, as you can see here. Um, so back to the inaccurate information, I just want to say something about that. I think that um, don't take what artificial intelligence tells you as 100%. Although there are some pretty basic things that artificial intelligence could be able to help you out with, maybe with a recipe or a simple question. But I hope my examples have showed you that it's not always 100% accurate, and it's continuously learning. So uh, take it with a grain of salt, or maybe question it a little bit and make sure that it's right. So this is a great video I just want to play, and hopefully this will be helpful. This is a Google video. Uh, Nathan, can you hear this?
Transportation, education,
Okay.
health.
Yeah, make it a little louder though.
If
you can.
Here are some examples of AI in action on a typical day. In the morning, a teenager wakes up and uses facial recognition to unlock her phone. She scrolls through social media feeds to see what's new. Then she asks the voice assistant on her phone what the weather is going to be like that day, so she knows how to dress for school. A college student uses an app on his phone to deposit a birthday check from his grandmother. He takes a photo of the check, and the app automatically reads the handwriting to figure out the amount. It then deposits it into his account. Meanwhile, a younger student uses a different app that is teaching her a new language. The app listens to what she says and can recognize what she's saying even if she makes mistakes. The app then gives her personalized feedback on her pronunciation. At the same time, a person gets in their car to go to work, and the navigation system plans the fastest route based on current traffic. In the car, they listen to a music streaming service, which already knows what types of songs they like based on what they listened to before. When a factory worker arrives at her job, she sees that, as usual, humans and robots are both assembling cars. The robots do some of the more dangerous or repetitive tasks, like welding or painting. AI helps the robots recognize the tools they need to pick up or check parts to make sure they have been cut exactly right. When the cars are completed, computers help manage inventory and plan efficient shipping routes to deliver them around the world. Now, meet a farmer who's checking on her crops. She notices that some of her plants look unhealthy. She pulls out her smartphone and uses an app to take a photo of the leaves. The app can detect crop disease and also identify harmful insects. The app identifies the problem and recommends treatment. A surgeon is using AI to help make a medical diagnosis for a patient, and then a robot helps her perform a successful surgery. Afterwards, she goes to visit patients in a nursing home, where robots gently lift seniors in and out of bed and help them move around. In the meantime, a traveler needs to book a flight to another city. An automated customer service chatbot helps him book his ticket on the phone. Once he's on board, autopilot flies the plane for much of the flight. AI is even used in space. On the International Space Station, an astronaut talks to a free-floating robot that helps with chores and does jobs that are risky for humans. Now that you've learned about how other people use AI every day, think about how you use it. Spend a few minutes thinking about this question. What are 3 ways that you or someone you know uses AI? The video you just watched is part of a lesson that helps people learn about AI. To see the entire Discover AI in Daily Life lesson, visit the Applied Digital Skills website. The full lesson discusses some benefits and challenges of AI, helps you use AI to make a set of learning language flashcards, and guides you through some fun AI activities.
Okay, so that was a little bit about AI. As you can see, AI has the ability to enhance so many different industries and lives in many different ways. I'm going to get into that in this slide. So hopefully we'll have a chance to look at 2 popular AI tools today. But before, let me present a few benefits to using AI. So why would someone take the time to learn how to use the tool? Essentially is what I'm going to be answering. So according to Accenture, they did a study on how AI can increase productivity in business, such as data processing or customer service. And their study said that AI can increase business productivity by up to 40%. Now, obviously, there might be some kinks in the road at first, but this is a pretty significant upside. And companies can dedicate the save time or activities to lead faster growth. A second way is increased customer satisfaction. AI enables the creation of more personalized and tailored products and services. And a great example is Spotify, which uses AI to recommend music tailored to the listener's music. So, for example, if I'm listening to Spotify on my phone and I'm listening to a lot of country music, AI is going to create a personalized playlist for me on new AI on new country songs that I might like. So that's just a cool example of how AI can do things to improve the customer experience and also improving customer service. A lot of times I know people might get frustrated. Let's say if they call an airline or if they call any customer service line that might be waiting for a long time. But in today's world, uh, immediate answers and questions can probably become available using AI chatbots. And the way that these would work is you would just go to a website and an AI chatbot would take care of you and any questions you have. And one of the great benefits of AI too, which is data analyzing. For example, one thing we might get into later today is if you plug a set of numbers or results into ChatGPT or an AI tool, it'll say, "Hey, look, here are the patterns in these numbers. Here's my conclusion." So AI can do those types of things, and on a broad scale with massive computers, it can really help certain industries. And also increasing security. AI can help detect and prevent fraud and other irregularities. An example is PayPal, which has used AI for years actually to detect suspicious transactions and fraud. And one of the huge processes too that I'm reading about is AI's use in the medical field. It has many medical applications such as therapy planning, improving clinical trials, or analyzing medical images. And it can also help in early diagnosis of many diseases such as cancer. So it'll be interesting to see as AI improves, how will this improve our medical field and also our daily lives. So now I'm going to get into ChatGPT. Nathan's gonna walk you through that. So he can introduce ChatGPT to you, which is a really, really, I'd say the most popular tool for anyone wanting to use AI.
Hi guys, I'm Nathan Hiltzik, and I'm gonna be teaching you how to use ChatGPT and what is it. So before we get actually into ChatGPT, it's important to know that as time goes on, they're going to be adding, like as Daniel showed you before, there's basically artificial intelligence everywhere. And so it's important for us to teach you how to use it and how it could be helpful to you, because artificial intelligence is for us to use, and it can help us and benefit us greatly. So first, let's get into what ChatGPT actually is. So Dan, you want to go to the slides real quick? The next slide. Yeah. Okay. So ChatGPT is a language model that allows people to interact with the computer in a more natural and conversational way. So I'm gonna be comparing ChatGPT a lot to like, why is it better than you just searching up these things on Google, right? Because why would I go to ChatGPT and ask you the question if I could just go to Google? So one reason why that ChatGPT is better is it's more natural. It's like you texting one of your friends or you texting someone on text messages and you're getting a response back. But that response is coming from an artificial intelligence that is gathering information from all these websites on Google that you may want to look up. And then it says these models are trained on large text data sets to learn to predict the next word in a sentence, and from that generate a coherent and compelling human-like output in response to a question or statement. So really the artificial intelligence is helping you. It's giving you information in a way that it's easily understandable, and it'll be easily understandable to you, and it'll explain it in a good way. All right, Daniel, we're going to the next slide. Okay, so now I'm going to be explaining how you should use ChatGPT and what are really good ways to get the answers you want. Because the whole thing is artificial intelligence is there to help you, and it's there to really help, like, explain things to you. But it's not going to be 100%. Like, it's not going to know what you're fully asking for unless you ask it. So for example, be clear, concise, and specific. So if you were to ask, right, like explain blockchain technology, right? If you just asked it to explain that to you, it might give you a very complex explanation. But if you said, explain the concept of blockchain technology in simple terms, it will, instead of you just asking, explain blockchain technology, it'll put it in more easily understandable words. Next, provide context. So let's say if you ask, so what are some effective study techniques for someone preparing to take a biology exam, right? So now if you just asked it, oh, help me study for a biology exam, it might not tell you good techniques. It adds the word effective study techniques, right? And it'll give you these fast and easy ways to study for this biology exam. So when adding keywords like this, it'll help you lead to your answer quicker and in a more effective way. Then ask follow-up questions, right? So explain more about how they work. So this is a very crucial question you're gonna want to ask ChatGPT, because it might give you an answer, right? And you might say, like, I want to know more about it. And so then all you'll have to do is just put into ChatGPT, explain more about how they work. And so we'll give you an explanation. We'll show you how this really works. Next, specify the language output. This is another really awesome thing that ChatGPT does, because it'll change the answer that you have just been given. It'll change it into UK English instead of, let's say, American English. Next, specify the length of the response. So again, we'll obviously show you this like in real time and in front of you guys. But let's say if you said, I would like a debrief and detailed 300-word response, right? So let's say if you asked for a response and it gave you a 300-word response, and you want to see it in a shorter response. So all you have to say is, write this in 10 sentences to me. And this is another really great aspect of ChatGPT. So next, you can specify the response format. And the only thing you have to the only thing you have to say is put in the response bulletin points, a table, or a graph. And then next, specify the level of output, right? So you can either say responsive for pretending like I'm a second-year university student, or I'm an A-rated student, or I would like an in-depth analysis. So again, this is another great thing about ChatGPT, because it'll explain it to you based on what the AI thinks you are. And then next, specify the tone or style of the output. So you could, let's say if you get a response, you know what, you want it to be in the style of Shakespeare, it'll give you the style of Shakespeare. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now we're gonna actually, so then there's an AI image generator. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get up to this. We'll probably show you a quick 5-minute example, but this is another really cool artificial intelligence tool, and you'll be able to type in a picture that you want, and it'll give you something. Okay, so now we're gonna really hop into ChatGPT. So first, all you have to do to access ChatGPT is to just look up ChatGPT on Google, right? So Daniel, let's quickly show them. So all you'll do is look up ChatGPT, OpenAI, click enter, and it'll be the first link, and you'll just click on that. Okay, so now Daniel is already signed in to ChatGPT, but you will have to be able to sign into ChatGPT. Either you'll be able to use your Google account, and all you have to do is there'll be an option of sign up, and you'll have to click, you'll enter an email, and you're set. So now this is the screen that you'll be looking at once you sign into ChatGPT, and it's totally free, which is amazing. So first, as you can see, is at the bottom, it says message or ChatGPT. And so that's what you're really going to want to be focusing on, right? So here's so Daniel, yeah. So the next thing we're going to be wanting to get into is let's explore ChatGPT a little, right? So Daniel, let's type in what is 9 plus 10, right? So let's go to the message, right? Click down there. And so as you can see, it's kind of like you're texting one of your friends, you're texting someone who you know, but instead it's it's like an artificial intelligence friend who is there to help you. So let's go what 9 plus 10 is, right? And so as you can see, we're going to click that up arrow. And when clicking that up arrow, it's in a way, it's like sending a text. It's sending it to the AI, the artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence is going to send you back a response. So Daniel, let's click on that up arrow. And so when we're going to click on the up arrow, and boom, it says 9 plus 10 equals 19, right? And so boom, it just gave us the answer to what 9 plus 10 is, which is unreal. It's like you're having a conversation with an artificial intelligence, and it basically knows what you're asking. So Daniel, then you might want a different response, right? So then you want to click try again. There's going to be the arrow that's in the circle.
Wait, why don't we try something that's a little bit more complex?
Yeah, so let's try like 95 times 42. Let's try that. So this is the reason why ChatGPT is also amazing, is because it doesn't just act as like as a search engine. It could act as a calculator. It can act as many different things. So as you see, boom, 95 times 42 equals 3,990. So this literally took 5 seconds for you to know this answer. So it's really awesome. So another thing that's really cool about ChatGPT is you're able to regenerate a response if you don't like how it is put. So Dan, you want to quickly click on that circle arrow. So no, yeah, that one, perfect. So now what we just did was, if you get a response and you don't like it, you were able to regenerate the response and get a different response. And all you have to do is, as Daniel circled in blue, you just click that. And so you'll tell it, the ChatGPT or the AI, whether it was better or worse. And so, I mean, when you're dealing with like a problem like this, when you're just multiplying or subtracting or doing a simple thing like this, there's not gonna be that much of a difference. But when we get into stuff later, you'll see a huge difference. So next, let's look up what does sagacious mean? Let's look up what that word means.
Wait, I have a good one. Why don't we do what is in one sentence, or explain to me what every senior needs to know about AI or something like that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So as what Daniel is doing right now is he's literally plugging in what he wants the ChatGPT to give him. And this is very different from Google, because if you put this into Google, this send it to the Google, it'll give you a bunch of different websites they'll have to like pick and pull information from. But ChatGPT is going to gather all those websites, gather everything that it knows, and puts it in front of you. It feeds it to you in a very simple way. So now Daniel, let's click that up arrow. Boom. So every person should know. It's going to give you a really good explanation, right? It's going to give you a very good explanation, and it puts it right in front of you. So now it says every person should know that artificial intelligence is a rapidly evolving field focused on creating systems that can perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as recognizing speech, making decisions, and solving problems. It's important to understand that while AI can greatly enhance efficiency and innovation, it also raises ethical, privacy, and employment concerns, necessitating responsible use and understanding its limitations and impact on society. So that's a great explanation. It gave you a response. But now, let's say you wanted it in like 5 sentences. I mean, let's say if you wanted it in like 1 sentence,
Yeah.
all we're gonna have to plug into is say, you put this into 1 sentence. So yeah, what's your question, Monique?
The question is, what happens if you ask for an opinion? Like, what is the best vacuum cleaner? Or what is the best smart lock?
Yep. So we'll get into that right after I'll get into that right after. So Dan, you want to just quickly say, write this in 1 sentence? Then Monique, don't worry, I'll get into that in a sec. So write this in one sentence. So this is another huge part about ChatGPT. It knows it's familiar with the conversation you've had before. So as you see, all Daniel had to put in is write this in 1 sentence. Instead of him saying, write what every person should know about AI in 1 sentence, he just uses the word this, and it knows what you're referring to. It kind of understands you. That's why it's like a friend. It's easier to use than Google. So as you say, you put into 1 sentence, it says artificial intelligence is a field aimed at replicating human intelligence in machines, offering significant efficiency benefits, but also posing ethical, privacy, and societal challenges that require careful consideration and responsible use. So now, Monique, we're gonna get into what you're asking. So that's a really great question, right? Let's say if you ask this AI, this artificial intelligence, an opinion question, right? So Daniel, let's give an example. So let's look up top 5 best vacuums to use. So now, Monique, while he's typing that in, what the great part about ChatGPT is, it will gather from all these different websites. It'll gather all this information that it knows from these other websites and puts in what it got from these other websites, the best vacuums. So the opinion that it's giving you is it's gathering what it has from these other websites. So when people constantly look up on Google, right, like what are the top 5 vacuums, and there's different ratings, it'll gather the best rated vacuums from the web, and it will give you what that is. We can.
It could go on forever.
So now that we got, so as we see, we typed in, right? We typed in.
Wait, it had a little bit of a so what it did, it originally searched with Bing, but it had a little bit of a fault. I'm gonna retry it. So this is an example of what I was talking about with machine learning. Sometimes it has a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to
So I mean, so the thing about ChatGPT is it's not perfect, right? So it won't know 100% of the time what it's asking you, but most of the time it's accurate. Yeah, so you want to try that again? Give me recommendations or ask.
maybe this is the thing about too. You might have to rephrase the question. So sometimes
What is a good brand?
Yeah, so I mean, it gave you brands at the bottom. So it says some popular and highly rated brands include Dyson, Shark, Meow, Bissell, and Roomba, right? So it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time, but like instead it gave you like noise level, it gave you like it gave you explanation. So it's not going to work 100% of the time, but it's mostly accurate. Here, Daniel, let's put in like top 10 foods with like fish. Let's try something like that. Like best foods, what are the best foods that include their ingredients?
That lower blood pressure.
Yeah, lower blood. Let's do that. Best foods with low blood pressure. Let's do that. That's perfect. So we're going to type that in.
So while it's loading and doing its research, one thing I'll say is I've been using ChatGPT for a while, and one thing that it's great for is just writing emails for you or writing short papers.
Okay, so now that you put in what are foods that can lower blood pressure, it's going to give you some foods. So it says leafy greens, berries, beets, oats and grains, fatty fish. So as you see, this is better than looking up on Google, because on Google, it's going to give you to all these different websites and you're going to have to look through these articles. But what ChatGPT is going to do is it's going to gather its information and literally put it right in front of you. So it literally gave you 10 options of of the best things to lower blood pressure, right? And it's just gonna, just gonna keep on going. Low fat dairy products, right? Give you 12 of them. So now, Daniel, let's put in what are good recipes to use with these ingredients. What are some recipes to use with these ingredients? Let's look that up. So now all we're gonna do is we're gonna look up some good recipes to use with these foods. Yes, Monique, you have another question?
Yes, is somebody going to keep track of what I am asking to ChatGPT and
Yes.
conclude a reaction to it?
So are you talking about on ChatGPT, in ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yes. So here, after Daniel types in the question, everything that you are typing into ChatGPT, it's not going to delete. You're just going to be able to scroll back up. So that's another really great part about ChatGPT. That's a great question, Monique. After you type it in, you get the information. It's going to stay there. It's not gonna leave you. So then you want to kind of scroll back up to show that it's like everything we've just said. So look, everything we have. Scroll even more. Our first question is still there. So if you forgot something or you need to go back, you can either ask it again and it'll still be there. So and it doesn't.
On the left side of my on the left side of my screen, are my previous searches for the past 7 days, so I can go back and access them as well.
It's some corporate data collector keeping track of what I look at.
No. Your information is secure with ChatGPT. It's not. There's no one looking at what you're searching for, which is one of the reasons that it's the most popular AI tool. It's very secure, and no one's really able to access your search history or your information.
Is it being used a lot now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's using it. Okay. So now we typed in what are some recipes that I could use with these ingredients, right? Oh, so you want to maybe say what are some that I could use with these? It should put in one more time with the ingredients. So sometimes, as you see, it's ChatGPT is not perfect. Sometimes you might have to ask it. Like, we asked it what are some ingredients that I could use with these ingredients, and ChatGPT didn't really pick up that we were referring to the ones before, but we're gonna try it again. So here we go. So spinach and kale smoothie, beet and berry salad. So now it's going to take the the ingredients that were listed before and give us some recipes with them. So as you can see, we have grilled salmon and garlic spinach, right? So it'll literally give us ingredients and instructions. So we're just going to wait for it to stop, and then we'll scroll through it. And okay, so for number 4, right? It says grilled salmon with garlic spinach. It gives us the ingredients. It says salmon fillets, spinach, garlic, olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and pepper, right? Then it gave also instructions, right? So it says grill the salmon and saute the spinach with garlic and olive oil. Serve the salmon with spinach and a squeeze of lemon juice. So as you can see, we asked it for some recipes. It gave us the ingredients and the instructions. So again, why not just look this up on Google, right? Like, why is ChatGPT better than Google with these things? Because with Google, when you search these things up, you're going to get multiple websites. You're going to have to search through these multiple websites and gather the information. But ChatGPT is going to take all of the information it knows and tell it to you in an easy way where it's easy to follow and understand what you're meant to do, which is why ChatGPT is sometimes easier and more effective to use than Google. And that's why it's in some aspects better. So now, Daniel, let's look up, let's look up let's look up, write me a story, right? So let's write a story about a kid living in New York City. So write us a story about a kid living in New York City.
Don't you have to specify the level of the story?
So good, perfect. So now listen, if we do not type in the level or what we want, it's going to just give us a response. And then with that response that it gives us, we're going to be able to say, write it to a 10-year-old, write it to someone who doesn't understand English so well. So wait, Daniel, first, don't make it just don't make it into anything else. Like, don't make it that it's just put that in first. So we're just gonna say, write me a story about a kid, right, who's living in New York. So it's gonna give us a story. So again, this is something that Google is not gonna be able to do, right? Google's not, if you say, right, like, write me a story about a kid living in New York, it's not gonna give you, it might give you articles about some kid living in New York. It's not gonna give you a story. So as you said, ChatGPT even gave us a title, right? It's gonna give us this whole story, which is why another reason why ChatGPT is really awesome, right? So as you can see, it's gonna give us this long, detailed story, right? One day Leo, whatever. So now we're gonna be able to do is, as Monique was saying before, is we're gonna be able to change the level of the story or the reading that this is gonna give us, right? So instead now, you know what, Daniel, let's type in change the story as if you're telling it to a 10-year-old. So say write it for a 10-year-old.
Oh, so I can do a couple different things. So I'll say, make it at a 10th grade reading level.
Mm.
And then also, you can do this with all the different prompts. I'm going to say include, make the main character make character's name Jack.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
as you see,
you could make it as a bedtime story, a fable for a
Yep,
child.
I can give it any prompt that I want to, and it should be able to do it. I can make it 10
So-
lines, I can make it 30 lines, I can make it a poem, I can make it in Dr. Seuss style. I encourage you after this class to really explore ChatGPT because I think everyone has a different use for it. I use it for analyzing articles. I'll paste an article into it and I'll say, give me summarize this in 10 questions or in 10 bullet points, or what does this article have to say about this perspective, or analyze this article from this perspective. I know some people who use it for, I know the holiday seasons are coming up, so they'll say, write me a thank you note that to this person with a formal tone, write it with an informal tone, write it to my, there's millions of applications for this. So I encourage you really to explore it for what you want to use it. And yeah, hopefully that this has been somewhat informative. I think we're going to kind of wrap up the demo there and maybe answer any final questions. So thank you, Nathan.
Yeah. So as you see,
yeah, go ahead.
right now it's going to put us, it's going to put it as like a 10th grade reading level. It's going to make the name character Jack, but basically like it's going to do everything. It's going to do most of the things that you ask it. Sometimes you're going to have to be more specific because it's not going to fully understand what you're asking all the time, but it's a really great search engine. Here, Daniel, can we give one more example? Let's type in like, give me information about, give me information about buildings in New York. So you can just ask it for specific information.
Yeah.
And instead, if you went onto Google, as I've been saying before, if you went into Google and you ask, give me information on something, it will lead you to a bunch of websites. You're gonna have to read a bunch of articles, but here it's just gonna straight up give you the information. So if you ask to give me the information about history of on the Statue of Liberty, exactly. So this is gonna literally give you, just text it back to you some really easy information. It's gonna give you the idea, inspiration, and it's really easy to kind of follow because it says like, okay, it's gonna first explain the idea and the inspiration. It'll explain to you the background of it. It'll explain to you how it came to be, the designer, the engineering. So this is just a really great search engine, and it can write you, as Daniel said before, it can write you letters. It can send you thank you texts, thank you emails, can write you Christmas or whatever, different types of, it can do a lot.
Can it find my name on Ellis Island?
Now, Monique, they might have to update ChatGPT to do that. But I mean, I don't know if it can do that, but hopefully in a couple of years, it will be able to do that. I'm not sure. I don't think it will be able to do that, but
Okay. Well, I think this has been a good demo. One other thing I'll mention is this is also an app on your phone. So I love it because for me, ChatGPT is just something that I can easily ask a question to, and if it's on my phone, I don't even have to use my computer. I can just search it from the couch, which is great. So back to presentation. And there are so many different AI applications out there. But when people talk about AI tools, generally ChatGPT is the one that is most commonly used. For example, there are so many different search engines. There's Google, Bing, Firefox, Safari. But in the terms of AI search engines, ChatGPT is the Google comparison. So I talked about this earlier. A lot of you on the call know about our two flagship courses. I encourage you to check out ChatGPT and our website after this. And we also have a new top 10 courses out, which is 10 hours of our most, from what we think are our most successful and most interesting classes. It's up to 10 hours of recording. So it's 10 different lessons, just like the one you guys were part of today. And also our Tech Concierge program. This has been great. And essentially you just email and you have a point of contact at Midler Senior Tech, and it's just a hotline. It's our tech hotline. And if you're interested in sponsoring our classes, we greatly appreciate our sponsors. And yeah, thank you guys so much for for paying attention today. I really enjoyed teaching. I know Nathan did as well. And yeah, this is an introduction to the vast worlds of AI. Oh, sorry. I will question. Hold on 1 second. I know I went by that kind of fast. So to find our top 10 courses class, you can go to our website and under classes, we have a page that's classes, and you can scroll down and you'll find our top 10. And so for example, this class was an hour today. Jordan has 10 classes that he's taught for an hour, and they're compiled into one playlist on various different topics. They're new topics, or topics that you wouldn't find or that we have taught in years past and not recently. So if you're interested in this, the link would be mittlersenior.technology/top10. But also you can email us, or it is easily found on our website on the classes page. Hopefully that answers that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of our class today. I really enjoyed teaching, and I hope you guys have a great holiday and end of the year.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.